All right. Hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because today we're going to be talking about YMAX and kind of the recent little downfall within it. So, if you guys are tracking YMAX like myself, you guys would understand that in the past few days, in the past 5 days rather, we've seen YMAX actually track down 6.64%. And so, what I want to talk about was what led to this. Although I'm pretty sure you guys have a good kind of idea, I want to show you some Yieldmax ETFs, which are Moderna, MRNY, and as well AIYY with the underlying stock being AI. I want to show you these two companies and how they're actually dragging YMAX down. And then I also want to kind of let you guys know of a strategy that I'm doing in order to kind of balance out this downfall within YMAX. So if this video sounds interesting to you, definitely do go ahead and subscribe. I do want to kind of give a shout out to a bunch of our guys. Jerry Smith, we have Shane O'Mac, Lion of All Trades. Everyone's talking about MRNY. They're seeing kind of the recent downfalls in MRNY and the underlying stock mRNA. And really a huge hit the other day, down almost 20% in one day. And so we're going to go over this in this video, if that does sound good. So currently we are up to 7,153 subscribers, 536 subscribers in the past 28 days. I'm super excited to get into this video and super excited to show you guys my portfolio because I've gone from $49,000 roughly down to about 46.8, 46.9. Cool. And am I concerned about that? No, because I do think in time YMAX is going to be higher than it is today. And I also invest in some other Yieldmax ETFs, which I do strongly believe in. And of course, that's why I'm putting so much money in. And with all that being said, I do want to kind of show you here my orders because in my previous video, I talked about how I bought more SQY, PYPY, BABO, and YMAX. But what I recently did is if you check here, January 13th and January 13th, I made two purchases of YMAX, one in my cash and one in my margin account. And that was 16 shares and 14 shares. So basically all I did was I reinvested the dividends. The one amazing thing about having so many shares of underlying Yieldmax ETFs is that they produce a lot of monthly cash flow. And with this cash flow, I'm looking to heavily reinvest in stocks and ETFs, which I believe are undervalued, like I think YMAX is right now. So not only am I pouring in cash, but I'm using the dividends, reinvesting to buy more shares at a great price. So why did YMAX go down about 2 to 3% the other day? Because YMAX going down 2 to 3%, it doesn't show it here. But if I look to the 5-day, we had a really big down day due to MRNY. MRNY, if I go to the 5-day calendar, on January 13th, which was yesterday, went down about 20. And this was due to the fact the underlying stock, mRNA, went down 20%. What I think here is that mRNA had a little bit of a run up, as you could see right here. And this was an opportunity for maybe some bigger companies to get out and sell out of mRNA as they believe it's potentially a falling stock, which over the last year is down 67%. In the last 6 months, 71%. mRNA had a huge downturn, which of course, because Yieldmax holds all Yieldmax ETFs, mRNA is within it. It obviously took the front of that fall, going down about 2%. As well, MRNY wasn't the only Yieldmax ETF to go down. AIYY also within the past month has been trending down and doing very poorly, down 25%, and the underlying stock in the past month down 21%. So these are two Yieldmax ETFs which are not playing well for YMAX at all. Will they be able to recover? That all depends on the underlying business. Of course, Yieldmax chooses their underlying stocks and all their covered call strategy ETFs based on volatility. They believe that the stock is going to go up. And so what they do is they kind of create a synthetic covered call strategy on an underlying stock, which then creates the Yieldmax ETF. Now, one thing that I'm doing in order to kind of combat this, what I've been doing is I've been buying YMAX at great prices, which I believe is the current period, as YMAX has a lot of great underlying ETFs, such as I have Apple, NVDY, AMZ, FBY. These are all fantastic companies. You're looking at NVIDIA, Amazon, Facebook, Google. I do believe a lot of the companies within YMAX are going to be bigger and better than they are today. That's why I continue to invest. Of course, they have stocks that I'm not a huge fan of. For example, I'm not a huge fan of Palantir. And as well, which might come as a surprise, AIYY has obviously been performing poorly. MRNY has been performing poorly. They may have periods where they recover, but of course, you look at it like anything else. Even the S&P 500 has some stocks, some underlying companies which do perform poorly. But of course, when you buy into the S&P 500, you buy into all 500 of those stocks, not just the ones you like, but all of them. And that is the same for YMAX. And the thing with that is you don't know which ones are going to perform well and which ones are not. You can make suggestions and you can make guesses, but of course, proven track records over time will obviously show a lot better, but there's some stocks that you might find questionable. And those are the three for me, for example. But what I'm doing in order to combat this is I've bought some Yieldmax ETFs, which I believe will do good for the future and that are individual stocks as their underlying. An example being Square. And of course, I'm not pushing this on you guys. All I'm saying is this is what I personally own. I own SQY, I own Babo, and I also own PYPY. These are three Yieldmax ETFs, which I believe show good signs of being Yieldmax ETFs, which have relatively small downsides, even though sometimes they do have big drops, as you can't avoid in the underlying. But these are three Yieldmax ETFs, which I believe could potentially be larger in the future and offer great dividend yields. And that's why I hold roughly about 4,500 in Babo, give or take. If I can show you guys right here, which I can't, Babo's right here. I own about 1,500 in PYPY, and then in SQY, I hold about $4,000. So what I've been doing with those positions is as the price goes down, I look to reinvest. And will I sell out on these positions? No. Will I sell out on YMAX? No. I only view this downturn within the market as an opportunity to buy. I don't view it as any idea to sell. I buy Yieldmax ETFs and I buy YMAX with the intention to hold it long term. I do not have any intention of selling it anytime soon because the market goes down, only an intention to buy. And right now we're in a period where the market's unsure what it wants to do. And it's unclear where it wants to go. Of course, we're on the downside. We could potentially see a bearish market, but we did see a little bit of a rebound today as we've been seeing kind of bad days day after day within the market. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens from here, as I continue to mention. But as you guys see, I continue to buy YMAX as it goes down. And every day that YMAX goes down, I will look to buy more and more shares, which will put me at a better average price. My current average price being roughly about $17.64 and $17.03 in my margin account. Those are very good average prices. I do think YMAX will be above that in the future, and that's why I continue to buy. Of course, you got to keep your eye out for some underlying stocks and ETFs which do perform a little bit poorly. So that's something to keep in mind too. So I hope this video guys provided you with some value. We're currently up to 7,153 subscribers. Subscribe if you found this interesting. I'll do my best to continue to track YMAX. I'll let you guys know of any future buys within my portfolio. As mentioned, if YMAX trends down, has a big down day, down 1-2%, I will likely look to buy a couple more shares every single time. So if you guys want to keep updated, you guys know what to do. Stick around for any future updates, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.